What do you want me to say to that? I mean, I appreciate the compliment. Very gracious of you. But I'm just myself, a person that has been committed to one thing for over 40 years, the sport of boxing, besides my family and my friends. But as far as professionally, yeah, I've been in the sport a long time, and I respect the sport, and I've always appreciated what the sport and what the fans of the sport have allowed me to do.
Do you think that the trainers today have the commitment that you bring to it? I mean, and you're like, I look at it as an old time, you're an old school.
Yeah, well, listen, some of them do. They're the ones that, that have success, who have the most success. Some of them don't. They're the ones who have more sporadic, maybe, with their success. Maybe they get one guy, but they're not able to be effective with a broader spectrum of guys. They can't affect everyone that they get involved with, but maybe only one guy. But the ones that affect more than one guy and able to get the results with more than one guy, they're the better guys. They're the ones that are committed and obviously also knowledgeable, to the level that they need to be. This business, one funny thing about this business, greatest sport in the world, more than baseball, longer than baseball, but it allows sometimes people to walk into this sport as a trainer. It's a manager too, but on any level. But we're talking about a trainer to walk in without proper apprenticeship, without proper background, to just walk in if they can get the ear of a fighter. You can't do that in any other sport. Think about it. I worked with the New York Jets years ago. I gave boxing lessons for 3 years when Mancini was the coach. But I wasn't on the sideline as a coach. I wasn't there as a receivers coach, a linebacker coach, a special teams coach. Why? Because I don't belong there. I don't have the background. I should have been there. I can't be there. And NBA, basketball, baseball, same thing. You can't just suddenly show up in the dugout and be a hitting coach. I mean, really, think about it. But in this sport, that's the one thing that drives me crazy, is you get people without the apprenticeship, without the background, without the learned skills, without the time served. They put a towel on their shoulder, they talk to a fighter, they walk in a gym. And sometimes that diminishes the sport, but there are still the good ones around there, and we need more of them.
Finally, with looking at this fight on Saturday, with Timmy's been through a lot of tough fights, physical fights, where he's taken a lot of punishment. Do you think the residual effect of that will have any play in this fight?
Listen, there's always a price to pay in this business. I mean, it's a unforgiving business. I always say on Friday Night Fights on ESPN, I used to always say that I don't judge. If you know what you're doing in this business, you don't judge a fighter's age chronologically. You judge it by the amount of hard punches and tough fights they've been in. They all have an impact, there's no doubt about that. But you don't know what that impact is until you know. I can tell you until you show up in that ring. But I can tell you that for 7 weeks in training camp with Timothy, and he is 32 years old now, and you're right, his last several fights taking a lot of big punches. We've worked very hard at correcting that. And I think that's at the center, the core of this, is not. If you get hit with those big punches, guess what? You're going to look at a fighter and say, oh, he's impacted. Oh, he's affected. Yeah, damn right, you'd be affected too. Damn right he's affected. We've worked at the core of what we should have worked on. Correct getting hit with those big punches. That's the main thing. As far as any residual effect, I haven't seen it. I every day watch them very carefully. We worked on getting ready for this fight, which is a tough fight, obviously. And I've seen a fighter that has done everything that you would want to see a top, not just a tough guy, a top-notch professional do.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time, and we're going to send you in to be an ambassador. You're the ambassador for boxing now. Maybe we'll get you in the State Department or something.
Hey, politics, they're too corrupt, those politicians. They're like the WBA, the WBC, the IBF, and all those other ones. I don't need to be around any of them. I've seen enough of that stuff in boxing. I don't need to go into a political realm to see more of it. Those people, there's a few honest ones, but for the most part, they are not, politicians are not what they're supposed to be. They don't look out for the people, and that's what they're supposed to do.